We have a special guest for you today, officially the Aussie relationship guru, all the way from Australia, 7,000 miles. Thank you, you did your job. So we're going to break into a little bit of why you know what you know, where you learned what you know, and how people can grow and benefit from it. So,
is that all?
Yeah, just a little bit. Maybe a little
question,
more.
yeah.
We'll tack it on. Where did you get all of your wide base of information? Where did you start? How did you get into being a relationship guru and an astrologer? Those are kind of two really interesting.
20 years old, I became a psychiatric nurse to avoid the draft.
Nice. Tips out there, folks.
Became a charge nurse, ran all sorts of, drug and alcohol and family therapy groups and all sorts of wards. During that 10 years of my 20s, I started traveling to Asia. Every year, Bali initially. And I got into astrology and a lot of esoteric stuff like that. And then at 30, did a seminar that I trained intensively for 3 years to run. That's the Living Game Seminar, which I've taken around the world for the last 30 years.
And you were taught by some Buddhist monks, I think.
Yeah, I worked with Buddhist monks and shamans and crazy people, and I lived in Taiwan for 6 months.
Wow.
And did some stuff at the local Shaolin monastery and got very much into Zen Buddhism and just Eastern practices and Eastern belief systems to see, because it's a different reality.
Sure, absolutely different
Not just a different
altogether.
culture, it's a different world.
Right.
And so that got me looking at reality and how we create our realities individually and as groups and tribes and nations, and what works about that.
Sure.
And the way we've learned to create reality ain't working.
No.
Because we're simply not living in the world we were born into. And the world we were born into has a set of rules and beliefs that are literally 400 to 500 years old.
Right.
About everything.
Right.
About how
so
the world
what would you
works.
say are some of the primary concepts that you teach and that people are benefited from most?
How to get real. How to be who you are.
Right.
How to learn to safely let go of the masks that we've been taught to hide behind. That make for misery.
Yeah.
Basically misery. I mean, the way relationships are set up, the rules, the structures and the beliefs almost guarantees failure.
Yeah.
I mean, how many utterly, joyfully, blissfully in love couples have you met in your, 29 years?
Yeah.
How many?
Under 10.
Under 10. And I got to tell you something here in America too that shocked me is in America, and this is one of those cultural beliefs that really mess people around, is that in America, if you make a mistake or indicate that you don't know something, then you're an idiot.
Right.
And it came to my attention because a friend of mine's a professor of medicine at UCLA, and he was telling me that he's from England, that the first lecture he gave, at the end of it, he said to his 400 students, do you have any questions? And there weren't any.
Wow. Because they're intimidated?
No, and he asked them later, he said, why didn't anyone ask questions? They said, because everyone would think we're stupid. So asking questions and making mistakes here is interpreted as stupid. In other cultures like Australia and England, smart people make mistakes and ask questions.
Right, that makes sense.
So you're praised for doing that. You're admired for doing that. Yeah?
Yeah.
Not here.
Yeah, pat on the back for curiosity.
Yeah, so how do medical students get to do their job properly if they feel they can't ask questions? They don't. They kill people, period.
Oh, man.
And that's what he told them.
Good point. Jeez.
That's what he told them.
That's the repercussions. That's the extreme repercussion of not being able to communicate. But look how it transforms your relationships when you can.
Totally.
Yeah.
So in personal, I mean, that's sort of more in a professional setting, but in personal relationships, it's just appalls me how people get trapped in misery that's unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like I had a couple, when I was living in Colorado, a couple came to me They've been married. They were, in around 40. They had 2 young teenage kids, wonderful kids, and they just gotten to the end of the line. They could not. Their words were their relationship had slowly died, and they couldn't get it resuscitated. And they were literally at the point of divorcing when I met them.
Oh man.
They both had astrology readings, then came and did a 3-day living game with me.
Okay.
And 8 years later have an extraordinary relationship,
Oh wow.
but with much more openness, freedom and aliveness than they had.
Sure.
And their kids are doing brilliantly. The son's, just killing it at college, and the daughter, who's all of 16 and 17, is an international model.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Very good.
And so their relationship with each other and with their kids changed very dynamic.
In the living game series.
Basically, I address the same issues in everything I do,
Okay.
and the medium or the formatting of that's different, and the level of commitment to it is different.
Okay.
So obviously, someone coming. So what is it? That frame is personal growth, transformation, learning to create magic, to have magic and miracles happen in your life.
Okay.
It's learning to have how to have the life you truly want,
Okay.
and it's completely separate approach to anything else I've heard. Because there's great seminars and there's great training out there, but it's all what I call end of 20th century.
Sure.
It's the height of old thinking,
Got you.
not the beginning of new thinking.
I understand.
So what I do say in the living game, in Australia some years ago, a professor of quantum physics did the seminar, and at the end of it I said to him, so what did you think? And he said, this is quantum physics for human beings. Yeah, because and it sounds amazing, but in 3 days you learn how to transform your reality. I've had every imaginable person from 12-year-old to 80-year-old, 33 nations, every major religion. I've had priests, monks, haven't had a nun, haven't had a psychiatrist.
Coming.
They're scared.
Yeah.
But I've had
they needed them. Oh,
50 psychologists, all sorts. Mums and kids, like students, and every imaginable job and profession and background. And story. Everyone's got their own story.
That's true.
Yeah.
Would you say...
So we're addressing underlying fundamentals that apply for every human being,
Okay.
if they apply them.
So is your instruction different to someone who's younger, or is it pretty much like, let me prepare
Oh,
you
no.
for the
No.
world sort of thing? How does it work?
If 12-year-olds come with their parents, they have to be with the parent to do it.
Okay.
But teenagers, they've got it Friday. Like, I usually run the 3-day seminar, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The teenagers have got it by the end of Friday. They know exactly what it's about. They've got it. They're having fun. And the adults and parents are still struggling and trying to get out of their old stuff.
Sure. Well, one of the cool things that I think you actually coined this term, creationships.
Yeah.
And gosh, if I had coaching way early, you would have saved me a lot of trouble. So when you approach people, is it more like preventative care, or is it this is how you fix this, or this is how you don't have to fix everything, just take care of yourself?
Depends on the person.
Yeah.
Depends on the person where they are. I've had people, say in England, for example, I had a man who's a member of the Royal College of Surgeons, and his father is the Earl of Blarney, Kiss the Blarney Stone.
Yeah.
Very successful, wealthy, happy doctor. And he said to me, I have absolutely no reason to do the seminar except curiosity, because my life is 10 out of 10.
Oh, wow.
After the seminar, he organised my seminars in England for like 10 years.
Oh, awesome.
And what he used to say he used to tell that story publicly.
Yeah.
And say, what I realised was that the measure didn't end at 10.
Good point.
I had 10 out of 10. I did the seminar and realised it goes way past 10, and there's all these those people from all around the world have shared is the desire, if not the hunger, to be more, to have more, to express who they are more fully.
But personally, how have you applied?
Well, I've applied everything that I've learned. I've been my own living laboratory.
Yeah.
And if it works, I keep it and share it. And if it doesn't, I toss it. And
Yeah.
the whole journey has been about finding the best, the essence of what works for us as human beings, and teaching that.
No, there's more. Try this. Like, how
That's
are people
all.
resistant?
If they are, they don't come.
I mean,
I
there's
don't
a new
care.
step in that. Oh, with that personality.
I'm not here to argue with resistant people.
Sure.
I'm here to share my knowledge with people who are ready for more knowledge and wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that, as I mentioned earlier, that includes stepping into a whole new realm of what life is about, like learning to create miracles.
Okay.
Now, miracles are just unreasonable results. That's all.
All right. Good
Yeah.
point. Yeah, I like that.
In other words, I usually use a cigarette lighter as an example, but if I took a simple big cigarette lighter and went back 100 years, it's a miracle.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or it's magic, or it's witchcraft,
Right.
but it ain't normal. So miracles are just unreasonable results. And if you want miracles in your life, like, being happy,
Right.
I mean, happy like fulfilled, not
Right.
having, happy day happy. Get unreasonable. And the beginning of unreasonable is that your head gives you lots of reasons to not take risks, not go for what you want, to play it safe, da-da-da-da-da-da. And you've been taught that. That's called being normal.
Sure.
Therefore, that reasonable approach to life gets reasonable results. If you want unreasonable results, you don't figure it out with your head, you do it with your heart.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know what your heart wants when you're excited. You literally are turned on.
That's true.
Yeah, because you're having a near-life experience.
I like that.
And that's what it feels. Right? That's what it feels like. Now, if you have the courage to take that the next step and have a full life experience, what that means is follow your heart. And I've had people come to the seminar, and it's just wonderful to see what emerges, like an extraordinarily wealthy man who in the seminar got his vision that all his life, since he was a kid, all he ever wanted to do was be a beachcomber with a little cottage on a beach, fairly isolated, and just stroll and paint. And what it always comes down to is you can learn how to create the life you envision.
Okay.
And I'm a living demonstration of that.
Okay.
I grew up as in this family in the psych hospital in a little country town in Australia, and just the idea of going overseas was beyond comprehension in the 50s. Like, you didn't do it.
Do you regret it coming over here?
No. But I had a whole lot of life visions, and I set out to fulfill them, and I've done almost all of them. There's a few still that I haven't fulfilled, but I've done things in life that just, I just got picked up. Here's my book, by the way, plug.
Going Down Under.
So this is a transcript of a 10-day sex and relationship seminar I did in Australia.
Okay.
And it's just been picked up by a publisher in Paris, in France, for international publication.
That's awesome. We definitely want you to see this.
Is that a miracle? Consumer culture, and what that means is that you get trained to be a consumer, and what that means is you go through a process of dehumanizing yourself or being dehumanized, so that you believe that satisfaction and happiness is to be found outside you by buying stuff
and making yourself marketable.
And making yourself marketable
Right.
for marriage and whatever. You're a consumer item. But the classic part of it is that your value then gets attached to money.
That's true.
That's your value. So here, to a degree that's just so far past anything I've seen anywhere in the world, because it's the ultimate consumer culture, is people being valued for what they do and what they have, not for who they are.
Right. I've always thought of that, but that's a priority and it gets put in the wayside.
I teach people how to reclaim who they are
Very good.
and their own value to themselves as human beings.
Mm-hmm.
We'll come
What do
and
you
do
think
it
is
all.
your biggest golden key out of here?
Out of that book,
Yeah.
how much more fun there really is available in your sex and relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how to open up that
And
conversation.
how to reclaim that and how to remove the old, outworn fears and judgments so that you liberate yourself for new choices about who and how you want to be.
And I think, I mean, I go to seminars and stuff like that and get excited about it because who doesn't want new information? One of the things that's interesting to me is how do you make sure people apply what they learn outside of that
I
setting?
don't.
You don't. It's
That's
up
not
to them.
my job.
Right, that's true.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I say to people, you're coming here to the seminar, and I have the experience that you will blossom.
Mm-hmm.
And along the way, you get a set of tools where you've learned how to blossom.
Sure.
If you take those tools home and don't use them, don't bitch to me.
Mm-hmm.
If you take them home and use them, you will continue. Faith, it's not a religion, it's
Right.
blah, blah. It's a set of ideas with actual practices that you can apply to make a huge difference.
And do you think that people that are invigorated by this and get it for the most part, when they go home, is it something that they can kind of pass on to other people? Or
Oh,
is that a hard
sure.
conversation to have?
No.
Okay.
I mean, they have the conversation with their friends and family and workmates like we're having here.
Mm-hmm.
I went and learned some tools about how to improve my relationships. Would you like to hear about them?
Right.
Yeah, because we can improve our
Why
relationships. They are.
not?
And some people are hungry to go fast forward
Mm-hmm.
in their own growth and awakening and their own spiritual path and purpose in life. Other people have, for whatever reasons, karmic past life, I don't know, for whatever reasons, have to take very small, slow steps or none. So change for some people is very slow. For other people, very fast.
Sure.
I'm just supporting people. If you want to take the next level, learn how to go there easily, more easily. Basically, a 3-day seminar or a 5-day, 2-weekend seminar will jump someone 2 to 3 years ahead in their life.
Wow.
So I save people time.
You save time and then you give them purpose almost.
Yes.
Because otherwise
Well,
people are wandering around. and
No,
having
I
to
help
explain
them find their purpose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what their purpose is.
Sure.
I know what mine is. Part of my purpose is to help
Yeah.
other people find their purpose. Enjoying yourself, enjoying your life.
Mm-hmm.
It goes so far beyond something called happy
Sure.
that it's in another dimension.
Okay.
There's only one instruction. It's sit down and take responsibility for the fact that your life is not working and the one constant in it is you.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it you need to learn or change to get it the way you want it? And if you're willing to risk failure, you can have it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're too scared of failing, you will fail. You will, because you'll never go for it. Yeah. But my promise to everyone, I just talked a woman off the ledge who's ready to kill herself 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
And the bottom line was, there's only one rule when things get tough. Don't give up.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
If you don't give up,
Less special instruction.
no, but even just don't give up, you will eventually get through it.
Mm-hmm.
The quicker you can learn to embrace, integrate, and get the value of what's going on, the quicker you move forward.
I get you.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot in it. I mean,
Thank you so much for your time. I hope you learned something and are inspired to learn more. And we'll be back. Gregory Charles, everyone.